Welcome to the deep dive. Today we're tearing apart the common perception of a social media app.
Yubo.
Yubo, exactly. If you've heard of it, you probably think of its history. I
Mhm.
mean, 80 million signups, but a reputation that has been, well, frankly, terrifying.
Mhm. Yeah.
So our mission today is to figure out what this platform actually is right now here in late 2025.
And it's a necessary deep dive because Yubo's whole thing is, it's built on a pretty high stakes idea.
Live video streaming with strangers.
Right. Where up to 10 people can just jump into a chat and
Yeah.
literally anyone can watch. It's
Mhm.
it's high velocity interaction.
Which historically has meant high risk. And they did try to manage it, didn't they? With that age verification tech.
Yeah, the Yodi facial recognition,
Yeah.
they claim 98% accuracy. But the problem was, even with that tech, they kept these separate communities, one for teens, one for adults.
And that separation was a complete disaster.
That's where all the safety problems just exploded. I mean, even with those supposed walls up, you had constant reports about minors seeing inappropriate content. Sexual harassment was a huge issue in the live streams.
The liability was just piling up. And
Mhm.
the external pressure must have been brutal. This wasn't just, a bad PR cycle.
Oh, not at all. This is real law enforcement action. The game really changed with things like Operation Restore Justice in early 2025.
Right.
I mean, they arrested over 200 child predators who were using social platforms just like Yubo, platforms with live video and, younger users.
So Yubo had to do something.
Well, they had tried. They partnered with NCMEC, the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children,
Yeah.
and they had AI and human moderators. But that stuff just, it mitigates. It doesn't solve the core risk.
Okay, so this brings us to the moment. The pivot that basically makes every single old review of Yubo completely irrelevant.
It happened on November 1st, 2025.
What did they do?
It was a clean break. They raised the minimum age requirement to 18 years old, period.
18 or nothing.
18 or nothing. That's the new rule.
Wait a minute. They had 80 million signups? A huge chunk of those had to be teenagers. Didn't they just, destroy their own business model by kicking out every user under 18?
See, that's the most fascinating part. It wasn't just about avoiding lawsuits.
And what was it?
As they were systematically deactivating every single under 18 account, country by country, the company put out this statement. They cited an internal survey.
Ah.
And get this, it showed that 92% of their remaining adult users actively wanted an adults-only space.
Wow. So that flips the whole story. They wanted a safer, more mature environment.
Exactly. Which brings us to the core takeaway for you listening. That specific nightmare scenario, the thing that defined Yubo's bad reputation.
Minors interacting with adults.
That has been, as of 3 weeks ago, eliminated by policy. The entire risk profile of the app has fundamentally changed.
So it's not perfectly safe. I mean, you can still have adult-to-adult harassment, all the general risks of talking to strangers online.
Of course, no platform is perfectly safe. But that primary threat, the one that made headlines, it's gone. It's a really incredible case study in how fast a company can change its whole identity when liability and user demand suddenly line up.
Yeah. And this whole thing raises a much bigger question, I think.
About the rest of the industry.
Yeah. For the broader social media world, I mean, you look at the cost and the speed of this change, this 18 or nothing model. It really shows you how huge the responsibility of age verification is.
Mhm.
So the question to think about is, what does this sudden drastic move reveal about that true cost? And are other live streaming platforms, the ones facing similar pressures, eventually going to decide that the price of managing under 18 users just isn't worth it?
Will they follow Yubo's lead? That's the big question.